Hello and welcome to a new episode of Brothers in Arms Road to Hill 30 The Extras. We had this the last time, so let's see which things are here. Also, level designer. Hello. I don't know any one of those guys and girls. The Stuart tank, yes please.
This is the U.S. M5 Stuart light tank. Tanks like this landed in the first wave at Utah Beach and linked up with the paratroopers of the 101st Airborne during the D-Day invasion. Among the American tanks, the M5 had the least armor and the smallest gun. It was used primarily for reconnaissance, scouting missions, and light infantry support. The Stuart tank was armed with a 37mm main cannon, which was used against fixed positions and lightly armored vehicles, a 30 caliber machine gun mounted coaxially with the main gun, which could be aimed with the turret at enemy infantry, a 30 caliber bow machine gun, which could be used for suppression of enemy positions, and a turret mounted 30 caliber machine gun, which could be used by an infantryman riding on the back deck, just like Sergeant Baker can do in Brothers in Arms. This is the U.S.
Okay. 60 years later, gearbox in Verville. A director surveys the small village of Verville. Verville begins and ends within view of this camera. Gearbox discovers evidence of the fighting that took place here 60 years ago. Little has changed in Verville in the past 6 decades. This town was already 60 years old when the paratroopers fought through here in 1944. This church is the centerpiece of Verville. There are many pockmarks from bullet impacts in its walls. Other scars are even more ancient. Randy Pitchford tells the story of the fighting that took place here for a television documentary. In the cemetery, one can imagine the WW2 paratroopers on D+1 taking cover behind the grave markers of the French WW1 soldier buried here. Oh, it's so cool that this church still nice day pre-production lip sync screen test. Select to play. Yes, please.
I'm a paratrooper. They call me the Colonel. I'm temporarily assigned to Fox Company, 502nd Parachute Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne, the Screaming Eagles, as an observer for the Allied commander, General Eisenhower.
The quality is not from me.
My job to report back to Ike when all this is over. We jumped into Normandy 3 days ago, just after midnight on June 6th. Our mission was to support the beach landings, cause as much chaos as possible, and stop the Germans from driving the invasion forces back into the English Channel. Since then, it's been a hell of a fight just to stay alive. Right now, the battle is here, at the Norman town of Carentan. Our mission is to capture Carentan before the 13th of June. The Krauts are going to do their damnedest to stop us. The odds are that a few of us won't survive this, let alone 8 days. Before we left England, General Eisenhower told us that he expected full victory and nothing else. So that's exactly what we're going to do. The folks back home and everyone in the free world is depending on us. Okay, soldier, saddle up. We have a war to win.
This quality is from the video, not from me. I can nothing do against this. Brothers in Arms, key personnel. Writers and audio directors. Nice pick. Oh, okay. Dead Man's Corner comparison, game versus real. Game screenshot, army photograph on D+4, soldiers from FO2 Pier investigate the Hulk. The tank of the commander stumps the rest on the turret. Left side, Brothers in Arms screenshot. Right side, era photograph of the house at Dead Man's Corner. Inset, full era photograph. Oh. 2 photos? Okay. Later, gearbox at Dead Man's Corner. Okay. Yes. Wait. Ah. Okay. That's new. The house at Man's Corner in June 2003. That's very different. film crew in June 2004 shot Randy Pitchford and Colonel John Antlam at Deadman's Corner for a television documentary. And Randy Pitchford, obviously to the camera, considered a makeshift memorial left at Deadman's Corner. The temporary memorial faded and buried by the elements honors of 101st Airborne paratroopers who was killed in action here on B+1. Ooh, this is emotional. The K98.
This is the German Mauser K98 rifle. The Karabiner 1898 Kurz, as it was called in the German army, was the backbone of the German infantry and probably the best bolt-action rifle ever made. The K98 rifle weighs 8 pounds 9 ounces and is 43.6 inches long.
Yeah, and it had such a bullet for a shoulder that you have really have that hard on your shoulder or you will injure yourself.
It has an internal box magazine that holds 5 rounds of 8mm Mauser ammunition. The rounds are fed into the internal magazine either individually or with the use of a handy stripper clip. In the hands of a well-trained marksman, this rifle could hit targets beyond 400 yards.
What are 400 yards in meters? I don't know.
In Brothers in Arms, you will often fight several teams of enemy soldiers armed with K98s protecting an MG42 machine gun, the center of a German infantry squad. This is the German Mauser K98 rifle.
Okay, we already were there. What is an armed production team? Hello. Interesting. Wait, there is no second side. Nope. Aerial photos of Deadman's Corner, Crossroads area. Aerial reconnaissance photograph from May 1944 details the causeway between Saint-Côme-du-Mont and Carentan South. Okay. Deadman's Corner. The dotted line outline a likely path of Baker's squad moving north towards St. Caux and pausing to destroy the MG42 in a attached farmhouse. Yeah, okay. The blue and green color sections are set pieces from the game where combat occurs. These overlay help Gearbox recreate the terror of 1944. This is so awesome how much effort and research they did before they made this game. Screenplay? Yes please. Development as character script of Brothers in Arms was collaborative effort and interactive process. Provide clear information about the paratroopers and was airborne on D-Day, organization, attitude, training, and vocabulary were all relevant. Inspired by Colonel Edel's real-life experience with combat soldiers, the Brothers in Arms character were further developed and revised by the Gearbox team. Okay. Mike Neumann championed the voice-over technique to help articulate Baker's progress through the story. This early voice-over draft did not make it into the final game. There's something very empty about heroism in war. Last night, I watched a man at Wilson's High School sacrifice himself in the most dire of circumstances for the smallest of rebels. He gave his life for the man next to him. There is something about your friend, your crew member, your brother. A beat. To die for him isn't even a thought. Beat. It's like breath. Mike worked with Colonel Edel and director Randy Pitchford to evolve the script to a final draft. Many iterations and rewrites occurred. After the voice were cast, the production team had the difficult task of editing their recorded material to what used in the game you're playing. Includes more than 20 characters, over 8,000 lines of dialogue, with a significantly more than featured-length movies. Aha. Okay. Cool. Official after action report. Select to view this image. Yes, please. page from the official US Army after action reports, in which Colonel SAS Marshall had hand-drawn the small unit action at Deadman's Corner. The fighting towards Sankoh around Deadman's Corner crossroad was undertaken by mixed units drawn from several regiments on 101st AB. This one of the pages describes the battle at the crossroad and indicates how the place came to be known as Deadman's Corner. After thousands of paratroopers passed the spot on D+3, the name Deadman's Corner became more legendary than the stories they crafted about it. At the crossroad, D had come as far as its understanding of its mission made necessary. At that point, the lead tank was hit by a German rocket, the tank disabled and some of the crew killed. For some days thereafter, the wrecked tank stayed at the intersection, a dead man inside it. The place came to be known as Deadman's Corner. Ah, what? That is very, very sad. Somehow. But otherwise also very respectful. Now the game selected you. Yeah, please. Area reconnaissance photograph Sankoh Dumont taken in May 1944. He also taking photograph of the LA just southwest town center crossroad. Town church steeple can be seen in the distance. The same area as the previous picture is modified in the game to represent place in 1944 during the fighting on D+2. The nicest manor in Sankoh Dumont is reported to have been the mayor's residence before the German occupation. The manor is represented in the Western Alps. The rare color photograph shows a 101st APD medic station outside the Sankoh Dumont manor that was set out on D+3 after the town was liberated. Allied aerial reconnaissance. Okay. At the US Ordnance Museum. The US Army Ordnance Museum abetting Proving Ground in Maryland maintains an unparalleled collection of WW2 armaments large and small. Curator Dr. Jack Atwater, right, assisted Colonel John Ethel, Colonel, left gearbox, step and the accurate surveying of the weapons of the day. Springfield, yeah, photograph from every angle, bottom, then reproduced digitally for use in the game. Weapon artist Stephen Ball, wearing a US Army paratrooper helmet, attempts to steady a German Army Panzerschreck anti-tank weapon. Colonel John Ethel checks the rangefinder of German Army Panzerfaust at the museum. The museum's briefing. Stephen Ball was a German MG-42. The Stuck Tank, Colonel Antel briefing.
This is the German Sturmgeschütz 4, commonly called the Stug. Turretless assault guns like this were used to support German infantry units to knock out machine gun position and Allied tanks. The Stug was armed with a high-velocity 75mm cannon mounted in a cast mantlet. The 75mm cannon could easily penetrate Allied light tanks.
Wow. I didn't know that it was a 75mm gun. Wow. It's huge.
The Stug's disadvantages are that it has no turret, and the vehicle must move to face the target for the main gun to fire. In Brothers in Arms, you can use this information to your advantage when you attack the Stug with an anti-tank weapon or an Allied tank.
Yes.
This is the German
Orchestra Score, Part 1. McGarry composer Stephen Howard Jr. performed by Musa Philharmonic Orchestra. Ah, here you can hear all this. Now we know why the production of a video game is so expensive. Isn't it? You have to get the whole orchestra for good music. Wow. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So this is the last one for now. And the rest will come in the third part. The German MT-40.
This is the German MP-40 submachine gun.
MG? I mean MP, yeah.
The MP-40 was the standard German submachine gun of World War II and was the preferred weapon for squad leaders in the German army. The MP-40 is 32.75 inches long with the folding metal stock extended, and it weighs 8.7 pounds. The MP-40 was a very lethal weapon at close range. Many Americans preferred the MP-40 over their own submachine guns and scavenged them whenever possible. In Brothers in Arms, you can feel free to take one for yourself.
Why?
This is the German MP-40 submachine gun.
Alternate route official after action report. Official after action report detect attempts to discover an alternate route to advance on Corentin. This section describes the alternate route mission area. Just a few minutes before dark of the night that 5023 was to move on, Captain Henry G. Plitt, Regiment S3, was told that an alternate route might be needed for the advance and that the information would be needed before 0300. He took a Piper Club from Oswell and scouted the railway lines south of the Deville as a possible alternate route. The hour was about 2130, but there was still sufficient light for his purpose. Flying at 1500 feet, he could see the bridge over the Jean du intersection and noted that it looked passable for foot troops. Okay, that's it. The bridge, then now in game. Every bridge across the alternate route was not destroyed. Damn it. Was not destroyed in action during the Normandy campaign. The alternate route bridge at Brothers in Arms. Every bridge. Where's the score? Wait, did we miss something? Yeah, we missed something. Oh my god. Hang in. About the road in hell. Featured in buying the farm. The Gearbox visited Normandy almost 60 years later. Structures like this farmhouse were still intact and in use to the delight of the surveyors. Gearbox designed Eric Dusher studies the farmhouse. The farmhouse is recreated in Brothers in Arms. The real-life counterpart to the other houses in the Buying the Farm courtyard. The photo source was used to recreate these buildings in-game. The other Buying the Farmhouse is recreated in Brothers in Arms. A Sherman tank.
The Sherman tank. Tanks like this landed in the first wave at Omaha Beach and linked up with the paratroopers of the 101st Airborne near Carentan.
Well, there is no audio, only this picture.
The Sherman tank was armed with a 75mm cannon, which was used most effectively against the sides or rear of enemy tanks. The Sherman tank.
Wow. Absolutely no info. Oh. Fallschirmjäger.
The German parachute infantry, or Fallschirmjägers, were the best equipped and most highly motivated light infantry in the German army. The German 6th Parachute Regiment and the 3rd Parachute Division fought in the Normandy battles. These German paratroopers, like their American counterparts, were all volunteers. They had more modern rifles and a higher allocation of machine guns, anti-tank weapons, and mortars than regular infantry. The Fallschirmjägers proved highly effective in the defensive actions they fought against American infantrymen in Normandy and were fierce opponents.
Elite unit.
The German parachute infantry.
Yeah. If you want to read this, just pause it. Another producer, also blah blah blah. Respect to them. I'm not really interested in such things. It's cool. Reunion theme. Okay, now we are at 5 again. Okay. So, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Good night, good fight, and see you next time. I hope you enjoyed, and I did. Bye.